Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is Give Your Anxiety, bringing you guys another AoE3 video here. This is the GUA October 2019 subscriber tournament, and this is the semifinals. We have Kaiserklein versus Mitoe. This is a best of 5, and we are ready to get started here. All right, so random number generator was used, as you guys know, throughout the whole tournament. We have random civs and random maps. So the map for game 1 is going to be Pampas, Sioux. And we're going to go ahead and spin the wheel for Kaiser. Actually, before I spin the wheel, I'm going to just add a little note. If you guys didn't see in the topic I posted in the GUA subscriber tournament topic, a little update. I decided to add a civ veto rule in the tournament. I know it's a little weird throwing it in kind of in the middle of the tournament, but a lot of people requested it, and I think it just makes a lot of sense. And it'll help make the rest of the series throughout the tournament a bit maybe more better or more exciting, perhaps. So how the rule works is each player gets one civ veto or respin per series, and they can only use it on their civilization. So say that Kaiserklein gets Germany here. Say I spin the wheel and Kaiserklein randomly gets Germany, and he decides to civ veto, then we'll respin the wheel, and then say if he gets Ottoman, then he's forced to play as Ottoman. He can't pick and choose if he wanted to play as Germany or if you want to play Ottoman. He's forced to play with the new respin civ gives him. Okay, so with that said, let's get into this, and here we go. We're going to spin the wheel for Kaiserklein, see what civilization Kaiserklein gets here in Game 1. Alright, Kaiserklein is getting the British civilization. I'm just going to try and make sure sound is fine. Sound should be good. Just let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me fine. Alright, so Kaiserklein gets the British, and let's go ahead and spin that wheel for Mitoe, see what civilization Mitoe gets. Alright, and Mitoe gets Japan. Alright, Kaiserklein looks like he's happy with his civ. And Mitoe, let's see, waiting on Mitoe to click in here, and we're about to get into Game 1. Looks like Mitoe, I believe he is going to be happy to play Japan here. Won't risk the respin, as he only gets one respin per series, so best to save it for a very unfortunate civ selection and a really bad matchup or a bad map. So I think both of these players are going to be pretty happy with what they got. And just waiting on Mitoe perhaps think of his gameplay here or adjust his decks. Alright, here we go. We are getting into Game 1. This is a best of 5 in the GUA October 2019 subscriber tournament. This is the semifinals between Mitoe and Kaiserklein. We have a $200 prize pool in this tournament, which is divided between the top 3 players here. And we are in store for a great series here between Mitoe and Kaiser. Obviously, two very talented players, and they're no strangers to meeting one another in tournaments. As they've met each other in the late rounds of tournaments many times. And usually, I would say they probably are about pretty even. I don't have the exact statistics, but I think they probably are split their series really closely. It's definitely not like one-sided for either player. They're always very close series, and I think they kind of trade off who wins the series fairly regularly. So here we are. We are playing on Pampas, and we have Kaiserklein playing as the British in the north, and Mitoe playing as the Japan civilization down in the south here. Lots of herdable animals here on Pampas on the left side of the map. So Mitoe playing as the Japan, you do have 2 explorers, which is going to be nice, going to help you get these herdables quicker and just get more of them due to the fact that Kaiserklein's playing as the British and he only has 1 explorer. So Mitoe's able to get some herdables, build his shrine, and get a treasure due to the fact that he has 2 explorers, while Kaiserklein's just using his 1 explorer to try to get as many llamas as possible here. And it looks like Mitoe is dropping down a consulate here. And Kaiserklein decided to build 2 manors here, and actually gathering more wood here. It looks like he found a 75 wood treasure, so I think he wants to turn the 75 wood treasure into a manor. Yeah, pretty smart play. It's going to slow down his age up a bit, but having 3 manors in age 1 is quite a lot there. Just trying to do the math here and get the perfect amount, and it looks like he did it. That's yeah, so he's about to get this treasure and then drop down another manor, which is very nice. Mitoe, of course, using his extra rickshaw to just scout the map here. And Kaiserklein, perfect macro there, gathering the exact amount of wood he needed to get this 3rd manor. So very nice job by Kaiserklein. I'm not sure if I said Mitoe there, but by Kaiserklein. So 3 manors in age 1 for the British, obviously quite a bit. Could have went for possibly hunting dogs, market and hunting dogs instead of like the 2nd manor, but decided to go for a 2nd manor. And then he saw at 75 wood treasure, so turned that into a 3rd manor. And yeah, he's going to have quite a good eco here in age 1. Meanwhile, let's take a look at Mitoe. Kaiserklein, perhaps. Not sure why he says that. Maybe he's really happy with his age 1, or I don't know. A little banter there. Mitoe picking up an 80 wood treasure, very nice. Just with some friendly little trash talk. And Mitoe is now on his way up to age 2. Kaiserklein also on his way to age 2 and now switching his villagers onto wood. And we do have Heavenly Kami coming in for Mitoe, so pretty standard start here for Japan. Building the big shrine here. No villagers on the Wonder. He did just use 1 to start it there and then take the villager off. And looks like he's just trying to put down as many shrines as possible here. Meanwhile, Kaiserklein is building a market and starting to herd his 2nd and 3rd hunts in here. There's a nice 235 coin treasure. One of the treasure gardens was already killed here, so both players looks like they're kind of keeping an eye on this, as neither one wants to let their opponent kind of get that for free. So it's quite a lot of gold there. Kaiserklein moving forward with 1 villager here, building a manor. A bit forward here, he gets some line of sight, possibly build some forward military buildings. Go ahead and take a look at text completed here. Nothing in for Kaiserklein yet. I'm not sure if we have Gangsaw on the way or if he decided not to do Gangsaw. There we go. Gangsaw is now in, which of course makes sense there. Kaiserklein making lots of manors here in the transition, so going to be up to 60 manor population, which is a lot for the British as they hit age 2. And decided to age up with the outpost and 200 coins. So perhaps the more common age up for the British. But 500 food is very good with the Brits. And it's hard to say. I mean, it's definitely not uncommon to see this. But Kaiserklein decided to build a barracks. Not super forward, but a little bit forward. And now moving his outposts over here to, looks like, put it right in front of the barracks, perhaps. So Kaiserklein probably being careful not to get caught off guard by Japan Consulate Rush with, you know, like the Torian Gate and Forward Samurai. You always got to kind of keep an eye out for that. Oh, and it looks like Kaiserklein. Wow, Kaiserklein actually got that treasure as there were 2 gardens there, and wow, so that was actually very nice by Kaiserklein, able to pick that treasure up. Very big. That's a 235 coin that Kaiserklein just got, and it looks like he might have, or how did he use that gold? He might have bought wood, or perhaps he researched steel traps, which is steel traps might be in the works, or he did maybe just train some muskets to use that gold. So that either way, obviously putting that gold to use. 235 coin, very early age 2 is extremely nice. Yeah, he does have steel traps, so a lot of that gold did go towards steel traps. And Kaiserklein now working on a second barracks, immediately sieging down some shrines, which is very nice here. Mitoe does also have a market himself, and he's starting to work on some of his market upgrades. Mitoe now dropping down his barracks at home, and we do have 600 wood in for Mitoe and 700 wood shipped for Kaiserklein. Another batch of muskets were trained here, so Kaiserklein now shipping 5 villagers, going pretty heavy with the muskets to start, at least to siege down these shrines here. And we do have a second barracks now going down for Mitoe with just 1 villager. So take a look at what's in queue. Probably Yumi, I would assume. Could be Ashes, but actually no military units in queue for Mitoe quite yet. So he's going to get the second barracks up, but delaying his military to just get some more shrines going, it looks like. But at the same time, Kaiser sieging down these shrines very efficiently. There were 2 shrines very close to his barracks, and he opened with muskets. So he was able to kill 2 shrines very quickly, shipped 5 villagers, and got a very early steel trap. So Kaiserklein pretty good, and he had really good age 1, like manor booming really heavy before even throwing his 2 racks down. So Kaiser went really eco-focused kind of behind this, while still doing quite a bit of damage to Mitoe. And now moving in with a big batch of muskets here, picking off 1 villager. Nice. We'll pick up there 600 wood coming in for Kaiser now. So very nice opening from Kaiser. And this is a lot of muskets. Kaiser just continuing to flood in with muskets here. There is 2 sets of Minutemen being called, and some Ashes popping. Another villager going down for Mitoe, however. And these barracks are... Oh, there's a batch of Bestieros coming out. 4 villagers shipped for Mitoe here. But as you see, the barracks are pretty far from the town center, so Mitoe wasn't able to really get the Minutemen to snare the military as efficient as you would like, since the barracks were so far away, and it gave Kaiserklein just so much time to react. And Mitoe losing bills here. Oh, that one does go down. So Kaiserklein doing a really good job raiding. He's going to lose some of his muskets here, but if we take a look at units lost, Mitoe losing 4 villagers, which is a pretty significant amount. But at the same time, Kaiserklein did lose 12 muskets, which is a lot. So if you look at the total here, we have like basically 2 sets of Minutemen, or some Minutemen alive. Only 2 Ashes went down. 4 villagers and 2 shrines to 12 muskets. But Kaiser really keeping the Jap eco in check here by killing those 4 villagers is pretty significant. And like I said earlier, he was sieged down those first 2 shrines very quickly. And now going to siege down another one. And Kaiserklein's adding a stable here. So he's going to be going for a must-cost composition versus Japan. Very interesting opening from Kaiser. Not afraid of Yumis, it looks like. But it's quite interesting. Mitoe, he never opened with Yumi. He never shipped Yumi. He never started training Yumi. And with so many muskets, you would expect to see Yumis. I think they would do really good versus this heavy musk composition. Now, obviously, there is a stable, so hustlers are out. There's always the threat of that. But, yeah, I think, heavy Yumis is really good versus British if Brits go muskets. So perhaps Mitoe maybe making a little mistake. Maybe should be adding some, at least opened Yumi to defend the initial muskets. But perhaps he wanted to do some Ashy raids, as those are always very good also. But instead he was kind of forced to just defend that early musket pressure. we do have Ashy Combat in, so Mito really committing to the Ashies. He's got quite a lot of them, and now a third barracks going down for Mito. We do have that first batch of Hustlers out for Kaiserklein. Kaiserklein shipping 700 gold to help continue to produce military units here. And we do have a batch of 5 pikes. I really like that. Being able to just sneak a batch of 5 pikes for Kaiserklein is very nice, as it's going to allow these 5 pikes to do so much. And look how closely these 6 shrines are to one another. This is like the ideal situation that like a brick player wants to see. If they could just send 5 pikes and like have very, very little walking time from one shrine to the next, and just potentially kill like all these shrines. It looks like Mito sending a explorer here to perhaps kind of pick off these pikes, is just killing even 1 or 2 is quite significant there. But we have Kaiserklein now pushing in here. Mito doing a pretty good job kiting here, trying to kill these Hussars. Lots of muskets out though. Some of the Hussars, not the best micro from Kaiser, as he's kind of getting his Hussars trapped in the back line there. Didn't really move them separately, so struggling to really get onto the Ashies. And there's a Daimyo out for Mito, so that's really going to beef up this Japan army here. And there are a lot of British muskets here, but at the same time, this Daimyo doing a lot for the Japan military here. The Japan military is starting to fall quite a lot, though, as there's just maybe perhaps too much British military right now. There's a big bash, though, for Mito, and this should help him defend here, and I think push back Kaiserklein here. Another big reinforcing batch from Kaiserklein, however, so perhaps Kaiserklein will just stick around here, and he is going to continue to push in here, as that was a nice reinforcing batch from Kaiserklein. Anti-musket hit points coming in. So 2 cards on these muskets, and yeah, that was actually too much there. Another batch of Ashies, but this musketeer count from Kaiserklein is looking very good. And Mito perhaps overstaying here, losing a couple Ashies. Kaiserklein ultimately retreating here for the time being. Don't want the Daimyo to get picked off. There are a couple of villagers going forward. 5 Ashies shipped for Mito as he feels the pressure. He's going to try to hold on here. A batch of Hussars are now trained. Mito now moving out a little bit. Another batch of Ashies. So perhaps Mito is feeling like he can push here. At least just get some shots. Trying to get another shrine up here, but the Explorer is going to go down there. Ooh, Pike did go idled here after killing these couple shrines. I'm sure he's got to have line of sight of these. The Explorer did go down here for Mito. And now 6 muskets coming in for Mito. And some more manors being built forward here to get some more line of sight. Picking off a couple villagers there. Hustlers are moving in for Mito, potentially get a raid on some of these villagers. This one's very far out on the corner of the berry bush here. And 2 cherry orchards shipped. Mito, quick reaction time here though. Hustlers trying to pick it off. Will it get? Oh, it's gonna be close. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Oh, it is gonna get. Oh man. I think Mito kind of walked around a little too much there and delayed one of the Ashy shots. Man, that really shouldn't have gone down there. Could have ended up getting those 5 Hussars kind of for free while saving that. That would have been a nice pickup. But Kaiserklein actually taking out one of the cherry orchards, so that kind of puts even a bigger clock on Mito. He's going to have to, he's not going to have that second one, obviously, so he perhaps has to make something happen now. Shrine population is at 200 here for Mito, though. But the British eco is also looking very strong here for 60 villagers at 14 minutes. Kaiserklein now kind of being forced to get out on the map for these hunts, however. And Big group of Ashies. Couple hustlers moving in here. Lots of pikes here start sieging these shrines down, which would be very nice for nice pick up for Kaiserklein. And it looks like Mitoe perhaps wants to push here. Some Yumis now being added. I think that's good. Perhaps later than they should have been added. Would like to perhaps see some Yumis added a bit sooner here. But this Japan army is looking scary. Oh, gotta bring them Yumi in with the Daimyo and all these Ashies. Nice volley there before those Kaiserklein's muskets started firing there. And here we go. Yumi are here. Mitoe is going to have to fight underneath the tower and two barracks, but look at like the pathing of Kaiserklein's muskets. So many of them are not shooting right now, while just about every single one of Mitoe's Ashies were shooting. So that was actually like really poor positioning from Kaiser, as just not a lot of room. It kind of made a really awkward position for Kaiser, where like half or a third of his army was only fighting, while much more of Mitoe's army was attacking there. And Kaiserklein, perhaps in a dangerous situation here. He's actually aging up. So Mitoe really picking the best time to push. Kaiserklein losing a lot of muskets there, like I said, where a lot of his units weren't really attacking. And perhaps Kaiser should have just fully committed to the late H2, as he was looking pretty good. Now there's Ashi raids. Ashi raids can be very difficult to deal with due to Ashi's speed. Kaiserklein is going to lose both of these barracks, which is going to be pretty big, and force him to have to rebuild barracks, and he is actually on a mill already. He does have quite a bit of hunt here. Perhaps overreacting going on the mill this early, while it's still a lot of hunt, but trying to get a smooth transition, it looks like. Now building two barracks at home. Oh, lots of villagers here exposed. The Kaiserklein muskets do clean up this raid here. Kaiser escaping with these villagers, it looks like. A couple villagers here and there going down. So all of a sudden, this game's kind of swinging, and it's looking like it could be in Mitoe's favor. But Kaiser is about to hit H3 here, and once he hits H3, he's going to be able to upgrade his muskets. While he has two carded muskets already, perhaps well, looks like he's off on a shipment, unless I don't think he sent one already. He needs a little bit more experience to get a shipment. And then the 7 longbows from aging, which is always nice there. And we have 5 hustlers. Oh, and this is actually a really big raid from Kaiserklein right here. Lots of villagers out on this gold mine, and this is actually huge. 1 villager goes down. 2 villagers, 3 villagers, 4 villagers, 5 villagers. This is a huge raid here from Kaiserklein. That's a 6th villager. Every vill goes down. 7 villagers, perhaps even an 8th vill and an explorer here. 8 villager raid. Hustlers now got to get out of here, though. Looks like they might get trapped. So at least Mitoe may be able to pick off these 5 hustlers, which is, of course, nice. But losing 8 villagers there is a significant amount. And Mitoe deciding to age now, actually. Now Kaiserklein looking as if he wants to push. He has his muskets upgraded and now 2 cannons. So let's see, is that cherry orchard going to start causing issues for Mitoe, the one that got picked off? I believe, did he send something from the consulate there to get him another? Oh, it forced Mitoe to actually ship the 2 cherry orchards after the Yumi attack card. So perhaps having to ship that 2nd cherry orchard batch sooner than he would have liked. We have a castle going down from Mitoe, perhaps trying to buy some time here and get some flaming arrows up as he's about to hit H2. 2 cannons trying to fire at the military here. And Mitoe is now in H3 here. Kaiser with lots of resources in the bank here, not really using them as efficiently as you would hope. He's floating quite a bit here. But no, barracks does go down for Mitoe, and this is a little scary for Mitoe, as he's obviously going to want to be upgrading his Yumis and his Ashies here, but losing the barracks is rough. Daimyo out of position here. Nearly going down. Oh, and it does go down. So Mitoe forgetting about his daimyo there a bit. Nice volley from the cannons there. And Mitoe not the best engaged here. Trying to sneak and get those cannons, but it just did not work out. And then kind of fighting with only a very small portion of his army. Flaming arrows are out though, and that's going to help get the cannon. Ashies are now upgraded. Oh, flaming arrows, unfortunately wasting a shot there. Still one cannon alive, gets one volley off before going down here. Second volley off. Cannon does go down, still 3 flaming arrows out, so it's going to force Kaiserklein to retreat here. So Mitoe will end up holding this. He did take some damage though. And as I was saying, Kaiserklein was really floating a lot of resources there for a while. Unfortunately, he let Mitoe re-shrine here, so Kaiserklein's villagers were not able to gather from this hunt yet, and he's kind of forced to go on mills sooner than he would really like. He really needs to get out of the map and try to, hunt from these really far locations, perhaps before going on the mills. And it looks like we have an incoming raid from Mr. Brandboy. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Looks like we have Mitoe dropping down 2 more barracks and rebuilding his consulate here. So he's going to be looking to upgrade his Yumi. Already has a disciplined Ashies. Nice little wall coming down from Mitoe. Just close off this portion of the map. And we do have a town center for Kaiserklein. We do have a musket. Age 3 card coming in, so these are some very heavy carded muskets for Kaiserklein. Cavalry combat also coming in here. And these 5 huts were able to take down these 2 shrines, so of course, nice killing those shrines, and hopefully Kaiser will put some villagers on these hunts, as it, obviously is faster than mills, and it also just prevents Mitoe from having shrines on hunt. So obviously, it's good to just be able to hunt gather from the hunt, and then just prevent Mitoe from being able to have the shrines there to boost his economy. Lots of a couple shrines actually going down here. I was gonna say manors, but Mitoe's trying to reshrine these hunts, but Kaiserklein is right here, and it looks like Mitoe wants to move across the map here with lots of ashes and 2 flaming arrows. As Kaiserklein's military looks a little underwhelming here. He does have 2 culverins. Perhaps can get picked off by these ashes, kind of splitting off, and then 2 cannons. So good to add in some cannons here from Kaiserklein and making the 2 culverins so that he can pick off these flaming arrows. We do have some raids back at home from Kaiserklein here. A couple clubs are coming to respond to the raid, however. Mitoe now finds his town center, and it's going to start sieging this down. But here we go. Cannons are in position. Culverins get off the valley, picking off that flaming arrow for free. Flaming arrow might get... Nope, doesn't even get 1 shot off there. So very nice start to the engagement from Kaiserklein. And now the cannons are doing a lot of work. Good position from Kaiserklein, but there's still lots of Japan military units here. Minutemen being called, so this fight going about as good as it possibly can for Kaiserklein. Very good micro from the cannons here by Kaiserklein, keeping at least the 1 cannon alive here. Pretty even. Ultimately, it looks like Mitoe is going to perhaps win this engagement. But like I said, this one is good for Kaiserklein, as it really could have, as he picked off the 2 flaming arrows before the fight even began, and was able to get some pretty good volleys off of those cannons, as Mitoe just had a lot more military units there, really, or just stronger military units. 2 culverins are going to go down here, though, so Mitoe coming out on top, even though that was well fought by Kaiserklein there, well microed. Club's now going to get on top of this TC, and with no Minutemen, they're going to do quite a bit of damage to that town center. As she's chasing down that last culverin. And I think we're seeing Kaiserklein run into the trouble that Britt's run into, is transitioning to mills. He has 5 mills built, and oftentimes when a bird is forced to make mills, that's where you gotta kind of type GG. I mean, just think of how much wood is invested to build this. This is this is 800. That's 1600. That is 2,000 wood. 2,000 wood invested into just gathering food, and it's it's a slow food gather rate also. So very rough transition, obviously, for the British. I think it would have been better. Kaiser should have really got on these hunts a little bit better, going to mills sooner than he really needed to. And perhaps instead of doing the very heavy mill transition, I would have liked to see him put a lot more villagers on gold and just go really heavy falcons instead of going for so heavy mills. It's so painful building mills and this many mills. That's just a huge hit to your eco when you have to invest 2,000 wood into mills. One lone villager lives to tell the tale. Villager exploring here. And it's looking good for Mitoe. Kaiser really had the edge in this game. Perhaps going to H3 was a bit of a mistake. Not going on the hunts as much as he could have. But also, even when Kaiser did get H3 and he was H3, there was a point where he was really floating a lot of resources. He was pushing, and he was looking pretty strong, but he had so many res in his bank that he just wasn't using as efficiently as he should have. Sorry guys, I'm kind of struggling to talk because I'm just getting over a cold and my voice is still pretty dead, so I'm like, it's difficult to cast, but doing what I can here and enjoying it at the same time. Kaiser never happy to play versus Japan, as he Kaiser's least experienced with the Tad civilizations, playing as them and playing versus them. Seemed like Kaiser was perhaps underestimating the clock that is on the British versus Japan, as you really need to kind of win the game or do a lot of damage before you run out of hunts. And there's just always that clock that's kind of running, or if you don't win the game or do a significant amount of damage before you run out of hunts, then you're going to be in a very bad situation. And that's pretty much what happened. Kaiserklein ran out of hunts, didn't get out on the map as much as he could have, and ended up investing 2,000 wood just to build mills. Now Mitoe pushing in with a strong military here. Kaiser trying to put a military together here to hold off. He does have quite a bit of longbows here and muskets, but losing lots of villagers here and just lots of reinforcing units from Mitoe. Looks like Kaiser may be now finally getting on these hunts, but this was just a huge hit. Not really utilizing these hunts. As the Brits, they just have to utilize every single hunt, even if it's a very far walking distance. You just have to go for those hunts before you transition to mills. Kaiserklein trying to make one last stand here, one last ditch effort. One culverin out is going to help shoot at these flaming arrows. Very nice picking off that flaming arrow. Very good micro. Kaiserklein always great with the cannon micro, one of the best in the game. Longbow's not following here though, and not the best micro here from Kaiser, slipping up a little bit. He's got his focus over here on this raid. And just some more reinforcing Ashes. Look how strong these guys are. Oh, many upgrades on these Ashes. one single flaming arrow crawling across the map here. Just the one single man pushing that flaming arrow here. We do now have Mitoe transitioning into rice paddies. But Kaiserklein lost lots of villagers. Let's actually take a look at the units lost. Let's see, 34 villagers lost for Kaiserklein. That is a lot. Mitoe actually losing 28, which is a very significant amount, especially for Japan. As usually you'll hear Japan villagers are basically gathering right underneath the town center at all times. So losing 28 villagers as Japan is a lot, but obviously 36 villagers, oof, that's rough. And now even more going down, getting into the 40s. 186 British muskets have fallen this game. That is a lot. Wow, 246 Japan Ashes. 4 Falcons, 3 Colves. 35 Hussars, actually. Kaiserklein trying to find something to do with his villagers. Kind of forced to go out on these gold mines. But there are lots of ashes here meeting the British villagers. One single flaming arrow getting a couple shots off here. Kaiserklein trying to get the culverin. Ooh, that's a rough volley. Culverin does pick off the flaming arrow. And perhaps pushing Mitoe back here. As it seems Mitoe has now slowed down with his push. But still with a superior eco. And now a big reinforcing match there. And Mitoe has basically completed his transition to rice paddies, at least for the time being. Perhaps throwing down one more rice paddy. Eight villagers now shipped for Kaiserklein here. Trying to catch up in the eco here. He did lose that forward town center that he did build earlier. And still this hunt hanging around here. And like I said earlier, Mitoe was able to rebuild one shrine on that hunt. So every little bit counts there. Oh, and we have 5 disciplined Nagy riders. That will be quite difficult for Kaiserklein to deal with, as it would be nice for him to be able to add in longbows, but he is going so really heavy muskets at the same time. Another big batch of reinforcing muskets for Kaiserklein, so still pretty close. Definitely looks better for Mitoe here. This Japan army is just so strong, and really kind of every second that goes by is better for the Japan here. Culverin getting left behind here from Kaiserklein, and it looks like they're very close to getting picked off. Look at the samurai bolting forward. I'm actually not sure how he was bolting forward. I don't know where that pull was coming from. That was actually kind of strange. I swear that samurai was in full sprint. I don't know where he was getting pulled from. And Kaiserklein sees this extremely scary Japan army, and he just taps out, realizing there's no way for him to take this fight. And there's a GG. Kaiserklein upsets. Probably not the most experienced in this matchup. Perhaps not aware of that hunt clock as much as he should have been. I think if he didn't age up, he would have really had this game. I don't think aging lost him it. It put him at a disadvantage. He did have a pretty significant lead before aging. But even with him aging, he lost his couple forward barracks. He still definitely could have won the game. He just didn't get out on the hunts like he really should have. And he also didn't go on to gold mines as much as he should have. It's better to just train like 5 Falcons than to invest 2,000 wood into mills. So, well-fought game here. Looked really good for Kaiserklein early on. But Mitoe hanging in there as Japan often does, and Mitoe able to take this one. So Mitoe currently up 1-0 in the best of 5. Yeah, look at Mitoe losing lots of villagers here, but hanging on. All right, we're going to get into game 2 right away here. Let's see what the map is for game 2 here. All right, game 2 will be played on parallel rivers. And let's go ahead and actually, well, I kind of really quickly want to talk about that matchup because people so much debate the Brit versus Japan. It's like a pretty talked about matchup. A lot of people say it's a very Brit favored. That's like the general ESO population like opinion is that it's super Brit favored, but there's also a lot of people that disagree. I disagree. For whatever reason, people think it's like really Brit favored when it's just not. It's quite even. It might be like perhaps Brit favored, but I know Mitoe is one person that in fact doesn't have that common belief that it's Brit favored. Mitoe thinks it's perhaps Jap favored, or at like the very least even or very close to being even. It's a very interesting matchup with which it can be played in many different ways. So it's very interesting to kind of to look at and debate. And for whatever reason, I think the general, like I said, general public considers it like really Brit favored, which is just I think they're kind of really wrong, or they don't consider all the factors. But anyways, we're done with that game 1. Let's go ahead and get into game 2 here. All right, we're gonna spin the wheel for Kaiserklein and see what civilization Kaiserklein gets here in game 2. All right, Kaiserklein is playing as India. All right, and let's go ahead and. Oh wait, I should have added this. Hold on, let me figure out how to word this or how to say this because I like just implemented or came up with the civ respin rule, but obviously it matters like. Do I force Kaiser to choose if he wants to respin now, or do you do it, when both players know their civs? And I think it obviously would make sense to allow either player to respin when both civs are known. So I'm just kind of clarifying that. I think they both probably assume that, but yeah, just wanted to kind of clarify that. All right, let's spin the wheel. See what Mitoe gets here in game 2. Kind of clear. Wait, did it not? Okay, wow, this took a while. All right, Mitoe is playing as China. It looks like perhaps Mitoe canceled a 5 Ashley shipment early on. Come on, TLS, man. Can't say anything you want. Can't just gotta keep it somewhat slightly family friendly, or not family friendly, but gotta keep the cussing and down at least a little bit. All right, so let's see if both of these players decide to click in here and play this matchup, or if one of them wants to do a respin. And as TLS, I just gave you a timeout, so you'll be back in like 6 minutes. So just yeah. I didn't read the whole thing. All right, anyways, getting into game 2 here. This is best of 5 between Kaiserklein and Mitoe. We are playing on parallel rivers. Kaiserklein playing as the India civilization, and Mitoe playing as the Chinese here. Mitoe, very well versed with pretty much every civilization in the game here. I know he's played China quite a bit, so I think he's going to be feeling really comfortable here. Meanwhile, Kaiserklein playing as India. I don't think Kaiserklein has much experience as India, so I was kind of expecting Kaiserklein to do a respin here, but perhaps he wanted to save it for something worse. This isn't the worst matchup, so Kaiserklein being smart, perhaps just saving it and being okay with this matchup here. But I do think this is a pretty good matchup for China. I think this is tough for India just in general, and with Kaiserklein, a pretty inexperienced India player, I think this one's going to be pretty heavy in the favor of Mitoe. So we have to see if Kaiserklein can step up here and make something happen. One good thing is that this is not a trading post map, so if it was a trading post map, I'd say that it would favor China more, as it would be nice for China to be able to build trading posts and help get those shipments out quicker, those H3 shipments, and just get that death ball coming quicker and stronger. So Mitoe won't have access to a trading post. But at the same time, China is still going to have that really strong FF and death ball. India Explorer is getting snared here already, so quite unfortunate for Kaiserklein there. Kaiser finding a couple goats here, trying to bring them back home. It is a gold start here also, so Kaiserklein leaving the gold on the floor, now building his house. India Explorer is still snared, and Kaiserklein going to lose half of the health on the India Explorer already, so that's pretty significant. And also just going to kind of delay his treasure gathering. So nice little catch there from Mitoe already. He did ultimately, escape by using that pole trick there. But losing half HP on the India Explorer. Kaiserklein probably he did get all 3 actually. Finding 3 more goats there. Just stumbling across, and 90 wood, so that is very nice. And Mitoe's going to get this 50 food. It's a nice small little pickup, but it is going to give Kaiserklein a window to get this 90 wood. As if he starts it, he should be fine here. Not the best, most ideal start to the treasure for India. As if you guys don't know, the India Explorers do splash damage. So when you're attacking a treasure, you want to basically attack them and then make sure that both of the tigers are right on top of each other. Basically, you can attack and then retreat a tiny bit, and that way both of the tigers will be right next to each other, and you could attack one tiger, and the splash damage will damage both of them, and you could just get the treasure before they become unstunned. But as you see, Kaiserklein did not do that, unfortunately, and he ended up losing an elephant, which is obviously not ideal, and then losing half HP on the second elephant. So he did get 90 wood treasure, but another little slip up there from Kaiserklein. Mitoe getting just a 40 XP there. There are a lot of ghosts here for India, so that's pretty nice. That's going to be like a trading post in itself, nearly, as India just generate XP from herdables. And we do have a single India villager crossing the map here, so it looks like we are going to see a forward agra. Kaiserklein perhaps sending his villager a little too late here, as he's almost at 900 food, and still no agra down. And let's see if he can fit it in here. Kind of tight corners here. Kaiserklein definitely aging up later than he would really like, and he might even have to put it further back. He's almost at like 950 food, and he hasn't even started aging. This is not the best H1 from Kaiserklein. Oh, no, Kaiser. Oh, gosh. Kaiserklein realizing how bad his H1 was, and that he's just really frustrated by his play, realizing that he has 950 food, and he just decides to tap out here, unfortunately, so we don't get to see this one played out. Yeah, I had a feeling it would get blocked here. I think this is probably too close to the town center, so he probably can place it there. And then it's getting blocked by these trees, and he might even have to retreat here to place it. And he'd be at like 1,000 food before clicking it up. Ugh. Unfortunately, we're not able to see this game played out. Kaiserklein perhaps just getting a bit too upset with his play style. Obviously, the game not over. Not smart to ever just resign, but could kind of see why or how he was frustrated there. All right, we're getting into game 3 here. Game 3 will be played on Bengal. Nah, I mean, you can't really replay that. You're like 8 minutes in a game. I mean, it kind of would be nice for the fans, but it doesn't make sense. You're 8 minutes into a game. It's not like it was a bug or anything. It was just Kaiserklein playing poorly. It wasn't like anything like the game, having a mistake. It was just Kaiserklein not playing good. So, I mean, you can't really, it wouldn't make sense to replay that, obviously. All right, so game 3 will be played on Bengal. And of course, Kaiserklein didn't have to resign there either. Could have played it out, even though he would have, had a really bad start to the game. All right, spinning the wheel for Kaiserklein. Kaiserklein gets the French civilization here. Alright, and let's go ahead and spin the wheel for Mitoe, see what civilization Mitoe gets here in game 3. Mitoe playing as the Sioux civilization. Yeah, Mitoe being nice and wanting to replay it because he feels like it was just, not a real win. He didn't get like the satisfaction of winning game 2 there, and offering to replay it, but we're not going to replay it. It just wouldn't make any sense. Kaiserklein knows. Kaiserklein didn't ask to replay it. Doesn't want to replay it either. Like as I said, it was no issue on like the game's end. It was just Kaiser just not playing good. So it just wouldn't make zero sense to replay that. It was just the player making a mistake. No, yeah, obviously Kaiserklein should have known that you have to obviously send your vote. You should have sent his vote sooner. You should have been aware that it's tricky placing the aggro. You gotta make sure that you're not too close to the town center or any little trees are blocking. And you could have known on that map. You just very inexperienced with India and probably on that map. Yeah. So I mean, there's not much else to say there. So we do have Kaiserklein playing as French, Mitoe playing as Sioux. Mitoe perhaps thinking here, does he want to use his respin here? Mito currently up 2-0 in the best of 5. He's looking good. But you can never count Kaiserklein out, as he's been in similar situations multiple times before where he was down in a series. And you can never count him out. Even if you're down, even if you're up 2-0 versus Kaiserklein, you might get super confident and cocky and feel like you can let up on your play. But that obviously is not the count. Is not the case. Kaiserklein is one of the best players, and he could definitely get himself back in this and take the series. So you cannot let up, not even a little bit, versus Kaiserklein. Mito saving his respin. Perhaps not taking quite a bit of time to think about it. Perhaps not the best matchup for Mito here that he would like, but he realizes he can lose this one, still have 2 other games, and if he gets a bad matchup for the next games, he'll still have the respin available. So we have Kaiserklein playing as the French and Mito playing as the Sioux civilization. This is a best of 5 here. Mito currently up 2-0. Kaiserklein dropping down a market here, and he's going to go for hunting dogs. He will have to find some treasures, as there's 90 wood treasure he's walking across, so that is a very nice one. Sioux Explorer roaming around the map, though. Perhaps already scouted that, so Kaiser not wanting to start that, it looks like. And, yeah, no gold treasures found for Kaiserklein, and he's not really stumbling upon any more right now. That 90 wood would have been good to go for, but he didn't want it to get contested by the Sioux Explorer, it looks like. So, not the most ideal start for Kaiserklein. Is usually the French want to find like a small gold treasure or wood treasure to help speed up this hunting dogs, but it's quite rough when the French has to gather all like 100 wood for the house and then 50 wood for a house and 50 coin for hunting dogs. That's a lot to gather. You always want to find treasures. And here we go. Kaiser now finally finding a 40 coin. So that will help speed him up. And it looks like he scouted that earlier with his native. So he did do perfect macro there, gathering 10 coin, and then taking the village off of the coin at the exact right time, so that he would have 50 coin for hunting dogs, which is now being researched. Mito picking up a 50 wood treasure there. So, pretty good for Kaiser. He did. He got that 40 coin. No wood treasures, so he did have to gather, quite a bit of wood to get that house and hunting dogs. But now it's hunting dogs, and yeah, why does he have 20? Did he overgather? Oh, he got a 50 wood treasure. Well, no, that's not. Kaiserklein, he did just get that 40 coin. Looks like Kaiserklein actually overgathered wood by quite a bit here. He did a perfect job with the gold, but slipping up a bit there with the wood, overgathering wood by 22. As he was microing his native and explorer and trying to get all the buffaloes. So quick pause from Mito here, but immediately back in the action. Oh, we have one water buffalo a little bit far from home. And that big 90 wood treasure in the middle of the map here. Who's going to go for it first? Big treasure contention points. Both players shipping their 3 villagers. And Mito is now clicking up to age 2. Meanwhile, Kaiserklein still a ways away from being able to advance to the next stage. And Mito does find 100 food treasure here, but it looks like Kaiser has his eyes on this. Will Mito start this? This will be big. Kaiser really sitting right on the treasure. Perhaps he knows Mito is here. And Mito does start it. Let's see Kaiserklein react. He does react immediately. Very good timing. But this is going down extremely quickly. It's me a treasure contention, and it looks like Kaiserklein does get it. He does get 100 food. Very nice. Getting there just in time. Sharpshooting one of the tigers and now killing the other low HP one. And perhaps killing this third one. Mito is building a market at home here. Third target does go down. Kaiserklein ultimately losing his explorer here, but obviously being able to steal that 100 food and then sharpshoot and kill all those little pets is very nice for Kaiser. Oh, and he does discover a 50 wood hanging out in the corner there. It's good to know. So once Kaiser using his native to get some information here in stealth mode, seeing these TPs built, and will most likely try to pick up his explorer with the native as soon as he hits H2, and then head back for that 50 wood treasure. That would be nice. Mitoe is now in H2, aged up with a 400 wood politician. He's gathering some wood here. Nice little wall for Mitoe. Perhaps has some defensive / so he is throwing down a corral now. We can take a look at text completed here. Kaiserklein going really eco-focused here. Hunting dogs, placer mines, and gang saw here. Herding in his hunts. And we do have a forward bear. Oh, Kaiser not seeing this, however. He could have potentially stole this with a villager. Mitoe does get that 90 wood in the middle of the map. I think Kaiserklein was perhaps building his barracks here for one, just for map control and put on some pressure, but perhaps to kind of get this treasure for free. But Mitoe really stealing that underneath Kaiser's nose there. And we have 5 villagers as the first shipment. Kaiserklein does rescue his explorer, but his native gets found by the Sioux explorer here, and I am going to be right back. I'm going to grab some water. As I said, I got just recovering from cold. My voice is pretty dead, and it's getting difficult to cast, and I need to get some more water, so I'll be right back. Alright, Kaiserklein does pick up that 50 wood. Ships for both players shipping villagers, and that's their first H2 shipment. Kaiserklein training 2 batches, two batches of muskets, and Kaiser now shipping 700 wood. Looks like he has some H2 agenda in the works here. Third batch of muskets. Meanwhile, Mitoe training some bow riders. Built a war hut at home, and also now training some seed and bows. And this could perhaps be a good fight for Mitoe here. Musket's getting kind of caught out here. Kaiser was looking to move across the map. But this is a pretty strong-looking Sioux army. War Chief is pretty low here. Do have a second racks up for Kaiserklein, but yeah, Kaiser really needs to retreat here. He does get one more batch of muskets out. I think Kaiser wants to buy a little bit of time as he was getting the second racks, and I think his unit's production is really going to start speeding up. But losing lots of muskets there kind of for free. If we take a look at units lost, that was a really good trade for Mitoe. We saw 5 muskets go down to just 1 bow rider, so very good trade for Mitoe, obviously. There are some crossbowmen out, and there's a batch of 5 muskets here, so perhaps a good pop and timing here for Kaiserklein. Sioux Warchief does go down in the river here, and bow riders going down. Axe riders are coming in though, and crossbowmen will be out of position there once the axe riders arrive. Forcing Kaiserklein to retreat here, and the muskets are now getting snared, forced to go into melee mode. But there are bow riders and Sioux doing lots of damage here. There's a batch of muskets. Kaiser really need that with 8 crossbows shipped here. Cleaning up the axe riders before the bowmen get in here. Oh, musket staying in melee a bit too long there. Crossbow's in there. Oh, crossbowman's walking in. A bit too far. Musket's trying to get onto the bows here. I feel like Kaiser's units are walking a bit more than they really should be. Kind of missing some chances to attack here. The economy is in favor of Kaiser. Big batch of muskets, but some reinforcing bowmen. Kaiser trying to take down these Sedans and stabilize here. And use his superior eco to hang in this game. But very good initial trade for Mitoe. Gave Mitoe a really good window here to do a lot of damage. And Mitoe's looking quite strong in this game. Kaiser not happy with his play, and now 2 dog soldiers even out, and this is looks like this potentially could be game, and a very quick 3-0 in this best of 5. Kaiser not happy with his performance today, and just moving out with those muskets, perhaps not knowing. I don't know, his timings were just kind of off. Those muskets getting caught in that initial fight was really bad. Minutemen being called here. Kills the war chief. And 1 barracks does go down. Kaiser now rebuilding his barracks at home. 3 grizzly bears joining the military here for Mitoe, as it is go time. And even axe riders being added here. So this Sioux army, very well versed here with bull riders, some Sedans, axe riders, dog soldiers, and some bears leading the pack. 3 hussar ships for Kaiserklein here. He's trying to put something together to hold here. Losing 2 barracks there is very big. He does have French villagers, so perhaps could use those villagers to help defend here. And maybe his eco can keep him in this one, but lots of Sioux military here. French villagers are going to have to get their work in here. 1 village does very quickly go down. There's a big batch of 10 muskets, however. Bull riders are very good at taking out villagers here. 2nd French villager does go down. Kaiser trying to even up the military pop here. Kaiser starting to run out of, actually used up his gold mine there. His next gold mine's a little bit out here. And starting to run a little bit low on the hunt. Using his couple of water buffaloes. He is now adding crossbows. It is very nice to be able to add crossbows. But obviously needs enough muskets here to kill the dog soldiers and axe riders. Kaiser going to try to use his crossbowmen here. He gets pick off a couple units. Getting the bow rider there. And it looks like Mitoe wants to push in here with his axe riders. Nope, kind of falling back. Going to take out this house here. Taking quite a long time as there's just bow riders and lots of just archers really attacking this. Kaiserklein doing a really good job picking off as many units as possible while Mitoe was sieging that down. And pretty good micro from Kaiserklein here. Honestly, getting a lot of work there. Like, yeah, Mitoe killed that house, but that house only costed 100 wood. And it did house Kaiser a bit, but Kaiser picking off like 3 bow riders in the process. And I mean, 3 bow riders is more expensive than that 100 wood. So that was really not worth it, sieging down that house. Kaiser, very good job. It's very easy as a player to get that tunnel vision and think, oh, I need to siege down this house. Like, I need to go finish this house off as it's far out and exposed. But it can be easy to get to, you know, like I said, to get that tunnel vision and just want to siege down that house. But then you realize, like, oh, hey, I just lost like 3 bow riders in the process of sieging that house down. So I just took down a building that cost 100 wood and I lost 3 units that, you know, costs like over 400 or 500 resources. So It can oftentimes be a bad trade, and it can be hard to get away from the idea of, oh, I need to siege this down, I need to finish this house. But anyways, with all that said, Kaiserklein crawling back in this game, as he's not the best early H2 there. But very good job stabilizing here, falling back, rebuilding his barracks, and holding on in this game. And he still has a superior eco, and now his military is looking quite strong. One grizzly bear out, attacking these bowmen, using them claws. Oh, look at that bear! Using them claws to kill the bowman before going down. There are some exposed villagers here from Mitoe, however, and Mitoe is putting the villagers to dance as he sees that it's go time, but oh, these villagers are exposed, and this is looking really good for Kaiser. And what is Mitoe doing in the meantime? Bull Rider's out of position here. Ooh, a lot of villagers went down there. Oh boy. I think now would be a good time for Kaiser to retreat. And the thing is that it's not allowing Mitoe to dance here. Mitoe would perhaps want to take this fight, but he has no villagers dancing. You'd want all your villagers, or lots of villagers, dancing on that fire pit for the attack dance. And let's just take a look at units lost. Mitoe will be losing a lot there. 12 villagers in this game. That is a significant amount there. Only two French villagers down for Kaiserklein. Kaiserklein really clawing his way back into this game after a very rough early H2. Killing another villager, and just this fire pit placement is so unfortunate. And it's just Mitoe just deletes it. He realizes this placement is just so bad for him. He's not allowed to do the war dance, and it costed Mitoe like 8 villagers. 8 villagers died in the process, and he just ended up realizing, hey, I just have to delete this and throw it away. Kaiserklein actually getting a nice melee, taking off some units, but at the same time, I mean, getting 10 units caught there was ultimately a nice pickup from Mitoe. And the eco is just very one-sided here for Kaiserklein. Bull Riders moving in and potentially getting good raid here. Oh, and lots of exposed French villagers here. Raids on both ends coming in here from Mitoe. Kaiserklein actually taking this opportunity to age up. Couple hustlers. Oh, they're getting caught by the dog soldiers, and we have a dog soldier timing. And this is just as Kaiser is aging. So can Mitoe punish Kaiser here? Oh my god, there are a lot of villagers exposed here. Looks like Kaiser perhaps forgot. Oh, he does have a tower here. So he's going to buy some time with that tower. That is actually really big, having that tower. He's going to try to get over there, but he realizes he's aging and he doesn't want to fight now. He wants to be able to upgrade his units. Dog soldiers are in, and this is the worst possible timing for Kaiserklein. Dog soldiers are there. Oh gosh. Lots of French military at the same time. Kaiserklein realizing how bad this is. Getting his entire military caught and forced to fight just as he hits age 3. Not being able to upgrade any of these units. Musketeer upgrade is now in the process, but fighting this before it comes in, really. Pulling villagers now. Realizing this was a very poor timing to be forced to fight. Veteran muskets is upgraded, but Kaiserklein obviously losing more than half of his army before the upgrade even came in. But at the same time, Kaiserklein is in H3. He has a much better eco, as that Sioux eco is very weak right now. And Kaiserklein may still be in an okay situation, even though he lost a lot there. Mitoe was just really far behind before that, due to a very weak eco. Losing lots of villagers this game. 5 Dragoons shipped for Kaiserklein. Okay, Mitoe tapping out. I was nervous when I saw the game ended. I thought Kaiserklein resigned. That was funny. I thought I literally thought Kaiser resigned for like a second because of like getting upset. I was worried that Kaiser was going to resign when his army got caught here, and like him not being aware of how much heavy was Nico. But it looks like Mitoe realizes Kaiser's age 3, and Mitoe just can't really punish him anymore. Just very one-sided here. And like I said, Mitoe early age 2, very good. Mitoe with some very nice pickoffs. Kaiser doing a really good job hanging in this game. And then Mitoe, unfortunate. Oh, and then this raid was what caused Mitoe to tap out here. Just losing even more of those. Very unfortunate fire pit placement, just as kind of, it wasn't necessarily bad to build it there. I mean, I don't think it was the best choice. But of course, you want to build it around your villagers and even around TP is not the worst choice. But unfortunately, the fight just like started around here, so it didn't allow Mitoe to dance on the fire pit for the attack dance, and he ended up losing like 8 villagers in the process, and ended up deleting the fire pit to rebuild it. So Kaiserklein taking game 3 here and putting this best 5 to 2-1. Glad to see Kaiserklein win one, as we're able to see some more action here. All right, let's see what map we get here in what's this game 4? Yeah, Kaiserklein commenting about how he, got his army snared right as he hit age 3. That was obviously very unfortunate, but he was still able to hang on. Alright, so game 4 will be played on Malaysia, and let's go ahead and spin the wheel for Kaiserklein. See what civilization Kaiserklein gets here in game 4. Kaiserklein getting the Iroquois civilization. And let's go ahead and spin the wheel for Mitoe. See what civilization Mitoe gets in game 4 in this best of 5 semifinals. All right, Mitoe gets the Portuguese civilization. I'll just remind them that both players still have respin available if they choose to, as we're obviously at match point, at least for Mitoe here to close this out. Kaiserklein, not the most experienced with the War Chief the War Chief civilizations. So he does have Iroquois here. We'll have to see if Kaiser wants to do a respin, or will he be happy to take this matchup. We are playing on Malaysia here in game 4. It is a water map, pretty low hunt. All the resources are really far forward, so it's really good to get map control or to play super turtly and defensive and sea boom. So Portuguese could be a pretty good civ on this map, as Ports have really strong sea. They could play super defensive and get sea. They could take their sea, and oftentimes we see players even send some sneaky villagers and build docks on their opponent's ponds and take over that pond. Wait, what? Okay, so Kaiserklein deciding not to use his respin. Looks like we have a pretty good audience watching here. Appreciate everybody stopping by. If you guys are new to the stream, definitely follow me. I enjoy casting these games, obviously the tournament games, and I play quite a bit myself and streaming a lot, putting quite a bit into my streaming. And here we go. We're getting into game for here. This is the GUA October 2019 subscriber tournament. This is the semifinals between Kaiserklein and Mitoe. Best of 5 here. Mitoe currently up 2-1. And we have a $200 prize pool here. The winner of this series will move on to the finals, and the loser will actually play in the bronze match. So both of these players, obviously both of them want to win and advance to the finals, but the loser is not out of the tournament as they go to the bronze and then compete for a third place prize. Mitoe playing as the Portuguese, Kaiserklein playing as the Iroquois. As I was saying, yeah, appreciate everybody come by watching on my stream, and yeah, go ahead and give me a follow if you guys have been enjoying content, and also appreciate ESOC supporting the tournament just by putting me up on the schedule, advertising when the series was scheduled and everything. Always nice, of course, to see that support from the AOE3 community. Is obviously a really great community. Always help support each other. Mitoe going for a 60 food here. Kaiserklein going across the map here with got a Black Panther stumbling across the 35 food. Finding a little water buffalo there. So, what will Mitoe's game plan be here? Portuguese, like I said, Portuguese is a really good sea civilization. You'd have to expect sea play from Mitoe here. Kaiserklein in the right position here. Possibly steal this treasure. Mitoe restarting that. Didn't want to take the damage. Kaiserklein's right here. Mitoe now seeing it. Mitoe retreating here. Taking quite a bit of damage to his Explorer though in age 1 here. Not able to get that 35 food. And let's go and take a look at these players' decks. So Mitoe does have Schooners in his deck. Does have 2 Caravels and a Frigg. And Rendering Plant. So, pretty common deck. You'd obviously expect to have at least some sea in this. And still able to get your crate cards and a couple unit shipments there. Kaiserklein, let's take a look at him. He does have Water Dance in his deck and also 4 War Canoes. No sea in H2 here. And he decided to use his Travial to build a farm here. So it's going to give him more XP because the farm building just costs more than like a house or a market. So you get more XP by building this. And basically, so you speed up your shipment. And you can also now, he's using this to fan up his water buffaloes. So it does have 4 water buffaloes. So that is going to be very nice. And here we go. Mitoe assigned the ship Schooners as his first card. Mitoe now on his way to H2, and he puts every single villager onto wood. Kaiserklein scouting. Has the port villager pretty low here, or Explorer. It looks like Kaiser is getting a good idea of what's going on here, seeing lots of villagers on wood. Hopefully recognizing the sea play. Potential sea play at least. Mitoe does find a 35 wood treasure, and he is going to be able to get this before he dies. But it is going to allow Kaiserklein to snare the Explorer and should be able to finish off that Explorer there before Mitoe hits H2. Kaiserklein on his way up to H2 here. One more shot, and that Explorer does go down there. Oh, but not before Mitoe gets to delete the Water Buffalo. Oof, that could have been 500 more food towards Kaiserklein. So that's actually quite significant when you have a farm. Kaiserklein does find 1 more Water Buffalo and picking up a 40 wood. Kaiserklein getting pretty far out there, hurting some hunt already. And now I'm going to start working on a trading post. Seeing a couple more Water Buffaloes here. Wants to get these 2 before he starts this trading post, or at least this one, it looks like. Moving out with his lizards and panther, see what's going on. Looking for docks right now. And we do have a dock here for Mitoe. 2 fishing boats currently out. TC wagon is out for Mitoe, and he's going to put it out here, not along the shoreline, but instead securing some more of the map here, right on top of the gold mine and a big batch of hunt. No walls out for Mitoe yet. He does throw down a really early barracks, however, and he does build it kind of forward here. It is within range of the TC, but it is at the same time kind of far in front of the town center and pretty far away from the town center. And also a very forward house. But now kind of, I guess, starting a bit of walls here. Market starting to form a wall with his buildings. And 700 wood coming in from Mitoe. So what is Kaiserklein's plan here? Is he just going to let the Portuguese boom? Water boom? And it looks like he is. We do have a war hut coming down here in the middle of the map. Going for a 2 TP. Looks like he's perhaps going for a 2 TP stagecoach. Is he going to try to go H3 and kind of boom himself? He does have a villager moving across the map. I think he doesn't realize, unfortunately, due to probably the war hut, being garrisoned all the way forward. But, oh, Kaiserklein maybe not on top of his play today. Oh, God, Suicideville. Suicide squad here. Villager goes down. Kaiserklein confused. So it looks like Kaiserklein is probably just going to go H3. Going for a 2 TP, stagecoach, H3, maybe a timing push. I don't know. I don't think it really works versus a port C boom. But at the same time, Mitoe is investing a lot into defending early pressure. So Mitoe, in a way, is like overreacting. Mitoe could be booming a lot heavier than he is. But instead, building a barracks and a stable and making muskets. So if he didn't invest his resources into these military buildings and these military units, he could have had like a second, third dock down and quite a lot more efficient what's already out. So luckily for Kaiserklein, Mitoe is investing quite a bit early on into holding off early pressure, and Kaiserklein's not doing any early pressure at all. He's just going to be going up to H3 and doing a 2 TP stagecoach. So Kaiserklein kind of getting lucky there. But Mitoe is going to put these muskets to use and try to siege down this trading post. Kaiserklein will see this, and he actually seen it very early, and he's going to eagle shot him right away. So, I mean, can this one war chief just like kill these 10 muskets? I mean, maybe. Just come back in like, what, a minute, 40 seconds, eagle shot them again. Just get a couple tomahawks or bowmen, and wouldn't be able to clean up these muskets here. One volley goes on to the war chief there. And we do have hussars actually trained here for Mitoe. So Mitoe playing this H2, training quite a bit of fishing boats, but also going for muskuss here. Kaiserklein now on his way to H3. Perhaps it's good that he didn't train any tomahawks or Nina or bowmen. He would have got picked off by these hussars. Kaiserklein seeing these hussars, trying to retreat with his explorer as far as he can. Doing a little loop-de-loo. Trying to get another eagle shot off on the muskets before he goes down. Mitoe responding smart to that and retreating with the muskets, forcing Kaiserklein to use the eagle shot on the hussars. Kaiserklein getting as much out of that war chief as he could before he knew he was ultimately going to go down. One TP is down. And now Mitoe shipping 8 bowmen. Oh, did he go down? Oh, the TP brought him back. The TP line, I suppose, revived the Explorer, and then the Explorer went down again. Oh, no. And this war hut is in danger here. Forest Prowlers are so good versus this H2 composition, however. And so, I don't know if Kaiser can get a little bit of time to get some military units out. They have 5 musket riders going to be able. This war hut will go down. Kaiserklein rebuilding a war hut and a corral at home. Getting a nice volley on the hussars. Actually, 1 musket rider getting snared here, but Minutemen even being called from Mitoe. So Mitoe really wants to push before this Eero can get the really, really strong H3 military units out. Two sets of Minutemen from Mitoe. As he feels the clock is ticking, it looks like. A very interesting play. He just wants to do damage before Forest Prowlers get out, basically. He realizes Forest Prowlers can, like, wreck this army. Mitoe now on his way up to age 3. Kaiserklein trying to get as many shots with these Musket Riders as he can. He is housed here. This is going to cause some trouble for Kaiser. Housed quite significantly here. He does have Forest Prowlers out, though. 8 Forest Prowlers are trained. Another villager crossing the map here. Mitoe seeing it in time. And this could be a good go time for Kaiser as Mitoe is aging. Does have lots of fishing boats here. And the eco, gosh, look at the eco. That's why I just Iroquois letting Portuguese basically sea boom for free. Oh boy, that's a scary thought. I don't know if I initially liked Kaiserklein's plan, but this was essentially Kaiser's plan to do an age 3 timing push. But man, when you let Portuguese just boom kind of for free, it's a scary thought. At the same time, Kaiserklein is moving in with a very scary army here. It's just a very good army to kite forever, forcing Mitoe just to retreat until he can get some other military units out. Oh, Forest Prowlers going in way too far here for Kaiser. And about 5 of them going down. Very unnecessary. Oh, God. And then the trees. Oh, very unnecessary losses for Kaiserklein there. That was actually really big, really significant. And now Castadors are out. And we had even more reinforcing Forest Prowlers, which would have added to them. His Forest Prowlers are just so strong. But Kaiserklein really slipping up, losing a lot of Forest Prowlers there that he really should not have. Needs to pick up his war chief. Looks like he's going for him now. Kaiserklein making a comment about losing to his build, but I don't know. It's kind of like, I don't know. What do you expect? Letting import sea boom for free. Kaiser thinking that the Euro, stagecoach, eco, going greedy FF, and getting like a really strong timing push would work. But I mean, it can work, but I don't know. Just the thought of leaving port to sea boom for free for like 8 minutes is like very scary. As you see, the eco is double of Kaiserklein. But with that said, Iroquois can oftentimes seem like the new Ottoman, where they can just have super low eco and their military units are just like unkillable. So we'll see if Kaiser can get this really strong Euro force. But there are lots of Castadors out. And it's just looking really good for Mitoe at this point. Forest Prowlers getting picked off again. Lots of units going down for Kaiser. And this Castador count is just superior to the Forest Prowlers here, so Kaiser can't take an engage here. And villagers exposed now. Kaiser reacting very quickly. But he does still lose 2 villagers. Now Kaiserklein really having to be forced to get out on the map here. Oh my gosh, and he has all these fat water buffaloes that he hasn't used. I always kind of comment about how you need to use these before the game's decided. Like obviously, yeah, you want to let them fatten, but if you wait too long, like it already seems like Mitoe has this game kind of locked out. And this is going to be a huge spike for Kaiser, but he's already floating a ton of food actually. Not really microing the best according with this is he's not going to get a ton of food in with these water buffaloes now completely fattened and now going on them, but he's already stacked 1,000 food, so it would be better if he had like 1,000 coin and no food right now, and then had all these water buffaloes, to get that food going. But Losing another villager there. This is going to allow Kaiser to get a lot of military units out, as now he's putting, you know, lots of villagers on go as he realizes he's going to get a ton of food from these water buffaloes. And it is going to be a lot of resources for Kaiser, so he's going to be able to get lots of military units out with this. But Mitoe still currently with Spear military count and shipping Dragoon combat. Kaiser perhaps going in too far. Eagle shot does go off. And here we go. Looks like it's go time. Kanye's are going to try to move in here. See if Kaiserklein can get a good flank here and get on top of these Castadors. There are a lot of Kanye. There are lots of Dragoons, but also a good amount of Musket Riders and the Forest Prowlers. Eero Warchief does go down there. Kaiserklein trying to get us around here. Militaries are pretty even currently. Iroquois Warchief is coming back into the fight here. All the Kanye horsemen are down, however. Pretty even trade, but it looks like ultimately I think Mitoe is just getting more reinforcements. And his eco is just so superior right now. This really needs to go kind of one-sided for Kaiser to stay in this. Another eagle shot going off there. Looks like it did a lot of damage there on multiple Castadors. And this Force Prowler strength, man. I mean, they're making pretty good work here of these Castadors. If you try to compare the stats here, they're basically uncomparable. Force Prowler is much better than the Castadors. And Kaiser hanging in this one. A lot of exposed villagers here from Mitoe. I'm telling you, Eero is the new Ottoman as their eco. He's just the Force Prowlers are just so strong. It seems like you can just get this death ball army that just never dies. But at the same time, of course, Mitoe was a drastically better eco for a very long portion of this game. So Kaiser hanging in this one for a long time due to this very strong Eero army, but we do have Mamluks currently on the field here. Kaiser seeing this, trying to retreat. Mamluks are going in. Musket Riders trying to take them out as quickly as possible here. One man goes down, but they're going to be all tanked for a long time here. Warchief is in. Musket Riders still getting some pretty good hit and run here from Kaiserklein. Really preventing the Mams from doing a ton of damage here, as there was no additional cap from Mitoe, so he couldn't get a really good snare, because he was only really able to use the Mams as snare. So very good job from Kaiserklein hitting and running there and dealing with those Mams pretty efficiently. And yeah, it's weird. This matchup is very interesting as the Castador is just so much weaker than the Forest Prowlers. It gets to this weird dynamic where it's like playing versus auto. Like, maybe you could have double the eco, but how is Mitoe going to kill Forest Prowlers? Like, let's see. Forest Prowler has 177 health. This is one card. 177 health, 22 ranged attack. Castador, 105 health and 17 ranged attack. Let's take a look at the cost. 50 food, 65 coin. 80 food, 35 coin. So the Forest Prowler is significantly better. A couple villagers going down here for Mitoe. Oh, Mitoe moving the villager here to get on this next pond. Very smart move. Now Mitoe, wow, stacking a ton of gold. Mitoe commenting this, your civ has good units, yeah. Like I've been saying, I think it's still like semi-underexplored, but yeah, I think people are now realizing like how strong Eero are, and they essentially are like the new Ottoman, just with a better eco. It's like they really can get an army that is just unkillable. Like Mitoe now has an artillery foundation. This is what Mitoe has to do. You have to make cannons versus Forest Prowlers. But like comparing the stats, you know, of these two units are just a joke. But, you know, Mitoe has had the superior eco, the double the eco for nearly like this whole game. So you gotta assume Mitoe should be in a good spot to be able to win this one. I mean, still double the eco. He was floating a ton of gold there for a long time. He probably has five organs popping out. So that will be very difficult for Kaiser to deal with 5 organs and probably even more organs on the way. That is exactly what Mitoe needed. Fortunate, and organs are getting into position here. All the volleys did knock it off as they would have liked there. Musket Riders potentially trying to pick him off, but no. Oh, and Kaiser shipping war canoes here and going to clean up all of these fishing boats. So that's going to start to even up this eco a little bit at least. That is very big. Killing the dock and killing all these fishing boats is very big for Kaiserklein. And we'll have to see if his Deathball army can hold out. I mean, he's going to be going up against a lot of organs. Probably more organ guns on the way, but this is 5 organ guns. And a scary Portuguese army here. Will Forest Prowlers be able to prevail here? Going to need to find a way to deal with the organ guns. Oh, the War Chief getting caught out there. Very unfortunate. See if Kaiserklein can perhaps war dance very quickly to get him back. He does now drop down a fire pit. Doesn't have one built. Looks like that is probably his plan here. Dance, get that War Chief back, and then get ready for the attack dance. 2 organs being shipped. Some Kanyas are being added to this military for Kaiser to help deal with the organ guns. Yeah, like I was saying, I think people are starting to realize the power of Eero and their army. 2 organ guns go down very quickly there. Good, very good pickup for Kaiserklein. And this is essentially going to get to the point where if organ guns cannot do a lot of damage to Kaiserklein's army, then Mitoe will just not be able to kill the Forest Prowlers. This Forest Prowler army alone can probably kill all these casters and goons. The organ guns are going to have to do a lot of damage. Oh, that was a very good volley. But 2 organ guns do go down pretty quickly there. They not before getting off a very nice volley, however. And then 2 more organs going down. So Kaiserklein ultimately killing all the organ guns. And now it's just Forest Prowlers here. War Chief is back, going for the crack shot. Not the crack shot, the eagle eye shot. Is it the eagle eye shot? I believe it is. And Mitoe's going to be forced to retreat here. And like I said, the organ guns did a decent amount of damage. But what do you do versus Forest Prowlers? I mean, Mitoe's best bet would probably be like very heavy vet Husk, maybe. But then, I don't know, with Musket Riders and Forest Prowlers, I don't think it hit and run for days. You really need to get like 10 organs or like 10 Falcons, I think, to deal with the Forest Prowlers. So Mitoe with double eco literally like this entire game, but Mitoe struggling to win or to maybe even be in the lead. I mean, Mitoe is up 50 score, but it feels like Mitoe's losing. He has double, like not nearly double eco anymore, but he's had double eco for, you know, more than like half of this game. But it just feels like Kaiserklein's in the superior position. 2 more organ guns are trained here, and 1,000 coins shipped for Mitoe. And we do have Vet Husk being trained now, and adding an armory upgrade there, arsenal upgrade actually. So, not a ton of Musket Riders, so perhaps a heavy Vet Husk switch is what Mitoe needs. He does have his 2 organ guns here. Needs to find some way to deal with the Forest Prowlers. Mitoe now starting to C-boom up here, very smart. And it looks like Mitoe wants to take this engage. Another batch of Vet Husk. So he's going to try to get the surround with the veteran Hussars. Big batches of Vet Husk, and this is a lot of military from Portuguese here. And that is a lot of veteran Husk. How is Kaiser going to be able to deal with this number of vet Huss? It is going to be tough. Forest Prowlers are very strong, but that is a lot of veteran Huss. Not too many musket riders left here. Kaiser trying to hit and run as much as he can. But the vet Huss prevail. Kaiser taps out. And this goes to Mitoe, winning game 4 here. It's interesting Kaiser is saying that this is an easy matchup, but the way he played it, I think it's easy for like ports. I think Kaiser is very drastically underestimating the Porchy water boom. Yeah, like Mitoe, I think Mitoe says it perfect. He basically blind countered Kaiser's build. I mean, I don't think Euro can give ports that much time to water boom, and like I said, it was even like it was a bit of a counterplay, like Mitoe's C boom, but he did like a very soft C boom, while he could have gotten away with an extremely heavy C boom, which would have been worse for Kaiser. But Mitoe ended up building like a barracks and a sable really early and training 5 muskets, so he did like a very soft C boom, but it still made his eco just way better. And oh man, if this was close, I mean Kaiser hanging in this for so long, very good job. He would have maybe been able to get some more musket riders. He would have been able to deal with the vet Huss, but that vet Huss switch was just clutched it out. As that was really like Mitoe's kind of, it felt like Mitoe's last chance was to get a vet Huss switch, where Kaiser would be unprepared for it, and that's what happened. Just didn't have enough musket riders. And that is it for this. Mitoe is moving on to the finals, and Kaiserklein will move on to the bronze match. And if you just look at all resources gathered, I mean, look, by the time Mitoe hit H3 and just much superior eco. Alright, so that is it for that series. I'm going to go ahead and update the brackets. And go ahead and post a link to the brackets in the chat here.